Was Lamont Roach genuinely robbed versus Tank Davis, or was he simply outmatched? This subject has inspired unending debate among boxing fans and professionals alike. Tank Davis, with an undefeated record and deadly knockout power, was the clear favorite entering this battle. However, what happened inside the ring was far from predicted. Roach, considered the underdog, accomplished something unexpected. He pushed Tank to his limits, presenting him with a test he had not faced in a long time. In fact, many people believe Roach was deprived not just of a triumph, but also of an opportunity to define his career. The fight finished in a majority draw, but was this a fair outcome? And what does this conflict reveal about the two competitors? Let us break it down. The atmosphere around the battle was electrifying, and it didn't take long for fans to notice that something was amiss in the ring. Tank Davis, noted for his devastating knockout power, entered the battle expecting to dominate. This wasn't just ordinary bout, it was designed to highlight Tank's prowess in the lightweight division. Lamont Roach, a veteran boxer, entered the ring with a chip on his shoulder. He knew the odds were stacked against him, but he also knew that this was his chance to establish a name for himself. And this is exactly what he did. Tank was supposed to set the pace right from the start. His early rounds were reminiscent of his customary style, aggressive, confident, and determined to build up a knockout. However, Roach had a different game plan. He wasn't simply wanting to survive, he wanted Tank to fight at a faster rate than he was used to. Tank's power was apparent early on, as he landed a few good strikes that would have knocked out weaker competitors. However, Roach was not a lesser fighter. He stayed firm and refused to back down. In fact, he surprised many by not only surviving Tank's initial attack, but also landing clean counterattack that appeared to catch Tank off guard. As the rounds progressed, Roach's fortitude became more obvious. Despite Tank's hefty shots, Roach was able to absorb them and keep moving forward. Fans were astonished not only by his chin but also by his boxing IQ. Tank was on edge because of Roach's agility, footwork, and counterpunching abilities. He did not allow Tank to dominate the tempo, as many people expected. Roach was not just a formidable opponent, but also a strategic one. His defense was razor-sharp, and his movements made it impossible for Tank to land clean shots. In the middle rounds, Roach began to demonstrate his own authority by landing clean counters that rocked Tank. Then came the 8th round. In this round, Roach made a move that many believed could have affected the outcome of the fight. After taking a couple strong shots from Roach, Tank appeared to buckle. He took a knee and appeared to recover in the corner, but the referee didn't call it a knockdown. Many fans, pundits, and specialists who witnessed the fight believed it should have been scored as a knockdown. The fact that it did not add to the fight's controversy. Could this missed knockdown have meant the difference between a win and a draw for Roach? Some individuals believe this. Without it, the scorecards were significantly closer, with one judge rating the bout in Tank's favor and the other two scoring it evenly. But let's look at the matter from a different angle. While the missed knockdown was significant, it wasn't the only reason people are calling this fight a heist. Lamont Roach battled as if he had something to prove. He wasn't simply trying to survive in the ring with Tank, he was attempting to take the fight to him. In many ways, he succeeded. Tank Davis is known for his knockout power, but Roach did not give up under pressure. In fact, he gave Tank all he could bear. While Tank dominated the early rounds, Roach rediscovered his groove in the middle rounds, landing clean shots and forcing Tank to adopt a more defensive strategy. Now let's take a deeper look at Tank Davis's performance. Tank was regarded as one of the top boxers prior to the match. His power and skills had been demonstrated in prior fights, and many anticipated that this one would be no exception. Tank has the power to terminate a fight in a hurry, and during the first few rounds, it appeared that he was on course to do so. But as the struggle progressed, Tank began to exhibit indications of dissatisfaction. Roach's tenacity and defensive strategies began to annoy him. Tank was unable to land the clean shots he was used to, so he began chasing Roach around the ring, looking for opportunities that did not exist. Tank appeared to lose his composure at times, throwing punches haphazardly, possibly out of desperation, seeking to strike the one punch that would end the battle. But Roach denied him the opportunity. The underdog was not only surviving, he was making Tank struggle for every shot. The conflict then took a turn. Tank's customary power was still present, although it was not as potent as it normally is. Roach possessed a chin that could withstand Tank's shots, and his defensive abilities protected him from becoming overwhelmed. This wasn't the Tank Davis we'd seen smash opponents so easily. This warrior had to dig deep to stay in the bout. One of the most fascinating features of this battle was Roach's plan. Many thought that Roach would try to dodge Tank's might and remain on the outside, but he did the opposite. Roach took the battle to Tank, which worked. His inside game was strong, and his ability to counterpunch on the inside astounded many. Tank Davis is used to setting the pace and distance, but Roach didn't allow him. Instead of fleeing Tank's power, Roach used his defensive abilities to keep safe while still landing punches. But it wasn't only Roach's defensive abilities that wowed, it was his boxing IQ. Roach recognized Tank's actions and adapted accordingly. He wasn't just reacting to Tank's punches, he was actively seeking out and capitalizing on opportunities. His ability to switch up his attacks, throwing combos and then moving out of range before Tank could counter, made the fight interesting. While Tank delivered the more devastating shots, Roach's ability to box and move demonstrated that he was more than simply a stepping stone on Tank's path to the top. Despite Roach's strong effort, the bout finished in a majority draw, which left many scratching their heads. The dispute about the missed knockdown and the close scorecards sparked extensive speculation over whether the fight was genuinely a draw. Some supporters believe Roach deserved to win, while others believe Tank did enough to secure the tie. But one thing is certain, the fight was not as straightforward as many people anticipated. Roach not only held his own against Tank, but he also demonstrated why he deserves to be considered one of the division's elite fighters. Now, let's talk about what comes next for these two warriors. A rematch between Tank and Roach is an intriguing scenario. If the two met again, Roach would undoubtedly have learned from the experience. He would have a better understanding of Tank's power and proclivities, and he could enter the ring with a more polished strategy. Tank, on the other hand, would almost certainly be better prepared for Roach's tactics. This might lead to an even more combustible bout, since both boxers know what works and what doesn't. A rematch is highly likely, and supporters are looking forward to it. Both boxers have a point to prove, and a rematch would allow them to settle the score once and for all. Even if a rematch does not occur immediately, this battle has established Lamont Roach as a legitimate contender in the lightweight class. Whether or not he won the bout, Roach demonstrated that he is among the world's top fighters. In conclusion, Tank Davis and Lamont Roach's battle was an emotional roller coaster, featuring moments of brilliance, controversy, and excitement. While the majority draw may have left some disappointed, it's evident that Roach's performance was far from a failure. He demonstrated that he had the heart, talent, and intelligence to compete at the highest level. Tank Davis, on the other hand, may have won the draw, but he had to dig deep and reveal a side of himself that we rarely witness. This struggle will be remembered for a long time, and discussions about it will only intensify. So what do you think? Was Lamont Roach robbed? Or did Tank Davis accomplish enough to deserve the draw? Please let us know in the comments, and remember to subscribe for more boxing updates. Thank you for watching.